this case, family violence, the sheriff has placed himself between the law and his allies.
Location of emergency. My daddy just saw something windshield. It's close to my house. Saw something windshield in my car. Okay, what's your dad's name? Andy McCaffrey.
On a late Sunday night, August 18th, Waynesboro PD received a domestic disturbance call. The caller is Mackenzie McCaffrey, telling 911 she and her dad just had a heated argument. Police find Andy McCaffrey parked on the side of the road right up the street from where his daughter called 911.
1503 dispatch, can we have the suspect's name, please?
Andy McCaffrey is a Waynesboro business owner and connected to Burke County Sheriff Alfonso.
Really? Connected to the sheriff? I'm sure he's going to be treated very fairly, and justice is blind, right?
Williams. In May of last year, the I-Team found county documents showed the sheriff's office rented a building owned by Andy McCaffrey. Here's McCaffrey in Facebook photos at a fundraiser for Sheriff Alfonso Williams' campaign. Here they are again. The sheriff posted this when McCaffrey opened the Waynesboro Huddle House. But back to that 911 call, where McCaffrey's daughter says he shattered her car's windshield, something he doesn't deny.
Tell her, give my key. The next thing I know, I blacked out and the baby had a little toy here and I threw it through the windshield of the car. If you want to take me to jail, take me to jail.
While one WPD officer talks with Andy, another officer goes to his daughter's house to see the damage. Andy's daughter asks for a county deputy.
No, the county cop come out here too.
Hey, give us 1 second.
Minutes later, Burke County Deputy Tanner Bowman shows up to the house.
She said she wanted y'all to work it instead of us. Really? Yeah. 10-4. The complaining is trying to disregard the city and they want the county to work it.
Even though this happened in city limits.
I'm already familiar though, because he owns the Huddle House. Yeah, that's why they don't like this work.
After talking with the daughter, Deputy Bowman explains this situation falls under family violence in the state of Georgia.
Fortunately, when it comes to family violence situations like that, the state takes over. So at that point, it is pretty much in our hands, and we have to make a decision on it.
He has court tomorrow.
What's he got court for?
Beating up the guy at the gas pump. Do y'all remember that?
I heard about it, but I don't know much about it. Okay. So,
Man up at a gas pump.
Rewind here for a minute. McCaffrey did have court the next morning for a felony aggravated assault and battery case from 2023. He was out on bond for that case. The sheriff let him out on his own recognizance.
Andy Mack's his name, come out of the Dale Mac fried chicken, came in here and assaulted.
Really quickly, so this guy's out on bond, the sheriff's friend, buddy. Family violence in Georgia, they do not play around with. It is a mandatory arrest. That's why he was ultimately not charged, as you'll see.
Me, pushed me, got me on the ground and hit me right here by the truck, grabbed me by the throat.
That same day, officers went to arrest Andy McCaffrey at his shop, but Andy was already out of town. He told WPD investigators one of his first calls was to the sheriff.
If we can get you to turn yourself in today, you can bond out today off of the misdemeanor.
Yeah, but I've already talked to Alfonso. I'm out of town.
But it's not Alfonso. It's not Alfonso. This is the city.
And that's why I called Alfonso, just because he's the only contact I have, because I knew the city was doing it.
McCaffrey would later plead guilty to just battery charges in that 2023 case, which he's currently on probation for. Back to the scene, another Burke County deputy arrives.
the guy named Andy, he owns the Huddle House down there. Apparently he's real good with everybody in the county. And I guess there's a lot of situations where he just thinks because he's real good with everybody in the county, he can just kind of do whatever he wants.
It's not that he thinks because he's good with the sheriff and all the county officials that he can get away with it whatever he wants, deputy. It's that he does. He continually gets away with things, gets deals that nobody else would get, gets PR bonds, gets released, doesn't spend any time in jail. This is what happens. This is exactly what happens in our government.
Both deputies talked with the daughter.
Our sole job is to determine if a crime is being committed, and one has, and it's family violence, and we must act on those.
Sergeant Hickson then gets on the phone with Lieutenant Aaron Hans about the situation.
on family violence, criminal damage to property, over $500.
About 15 minutes later, Lieutenant Hans shows up to the house. He looks at the damage and explains the situation to the daughter, explaining options concerning a family violence charge.
Would you be satisfied with a citation for what we call disorderly conduct on him, and he'd have to go in front of a judge and everything? Would you be satisfied with that?
Right then, Lieutenant Hans gets a phone call from the sheriff at 9:36. But according to the sheriff's phone records, he received a call from this number 9 minutes prior to calling Lieutenant Hans. That number matches the one Andy McCafferty used on his 2023 bond document.
I don't know about you guys. Does the sheriff usually call when you have law enforcement contact? Does the sheriff personally call the deputies on the scene right after receiving a phone call from the suspect?
This is it on body cam. McCafferty pulls out his phone, dials a number, and hands his phone to his daughter. She walks away. The sheriff's phone records show the call was 2 minutes, which lines up with the body cam.
Okay. So as far as the report, just do a disorderly conduct instead of family violence?
A disorderly conduct would allow, first of all, it's less consequences, and it allows him not to be arrested and taken to jail, as he should be.
Because if we do a family violence, it's got to be a regular charge.
But can they do that? Negotiate the charge. All deputies on scene agreed this was family violence. State law in Georgia on family violence includes criminal damage to property and criminal trespass. State guidelines on family violence say officers shouldn't tell victims what to do in these situations. If the victim doesn't want to press charges, the case goes to the DA to review. If an officer thinks a crime happened, the preferred response is arrest. None of those guidelines were followed, and Lieutenant Hans gets the daughter to agree only to a citation. Everything changed after the sheriff made a phone call.
That was car one. Disorderly conduct. Go down there and give him a citation for the disorderly conduct. I think y'all can get that figured out. Okay. Are you okay with that avenue?
Why are you asking if he's okay with that avenue, Deputy? I mean, you already got your orders from the corrupt Sheriff Alfonso Williams.
Oh, you said this was your decision.
It was. Until other people got involved.
Deputy Bowman pulls the supervisors aside.
All I'm saying is, I understand. Okay.
What we're about to witness right now, this is why no good cops exist. And I'm going to be bringing on a former law enforcement officer on the channel live so he can explain to you why there are no good cops. I have my own opinion on that, but this is what happens when good cops try and do something.
But at the end of the day, if this was any resident in Burke County, they would be wanted there. I understand. Okay. But at the end of the day, if this was any resident in Burke County, they would be wanted there. I don't agree with it at all. So, in the most respectful way possible, if this is the route we're going to go, I don't want to be a part of it. I don't want to do this report. I don't want to be a part of this. And I'm not trying to disrespect either one of you, but if this is the route we're going because of who he is, I don't want to be a part of it.
That's the course that the sheriff has advised us to do. So.
Lieutenant Hans admits the sheriff is controlling the situation.
But I just know how it is, and if this was a different Burke County resident, it would not end this way.
Andy McCafferty was only given a slap on the wrist, a court date, and was able to go home that night. The deputy who spoke up about McCafferty getting special treatment, Deputy Tanner Bowman, he was fired.
Deputy Tanner